I mean, I know you didn't put your fans up to this, like tweeting underneath my post, etc. But why am I the type of person who you thought it would be beneficial to have a veganism debate on? Because I truly don't care. As of right now, I don't care 1% about any of the issues vegans bring up. So why me?
I've seen your post come up on Twitter. And this isn't the first. So basically, you said the number one sign of intelligence in 2023 is the ability to disagree on issues and stay civil. Yes. I'll follow men I disagree with on Twitter. I'll sit down and talk to him like I like opposing points of view. Yeah. I said, come on my YouTube channel and debate veganism. And you said there doesn't need to be debating. Eat what you want. I'll do the same, right?
Well, I don't have an opposing point of view. Is my point. I'm happy for you to be a vegan. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the reason that I thought of you, because it's not the first time I encountered you. Actually, you're all over social media and you're rather mega famous. Unfortunately, and it's not the first time I talked about veganism either. So like I responded to a couple of live stream that you and Andrew did. And I know Andrew's, he's not here, so we're not here to talk about Andrew's views. We're talking to you. But, you know, you did chime in on a couple of times when Andrew was talking about his problems with vegans and vegetarians or people that don't eat meat and how he doesn't respect them and things like that. But then you were talking about the problem with veganism and talking about how vegans not only kill more animals, they are also shouldn't expect everyone in the world to be vegan. And you talked about the Messiah, that live stream. So yes. that might have been just a small talking point for you, but obviously in the vegan movement, we all.
I see. It was a very small talking point to me, and obviously on my last live stream, if anyone saw, I was making a bunch of jokes about Irish people, and my Irish friend was sitting here with me. So it's not something exclusive that I do to pick on the vegan community. I like to have a good laugh at everybody. I think that's how we, stay friendly. I make jokes about all the things I am, certainly. So if the vegan community, obviously watched that and took that personal, then good, because I guess now here you are speaking to me. But what's the debate that we could possibly have? I see a discussion, but what's the debate?
Well, it depends. It depends on what you think about this topic, because we can get straight into it if you want. Like I thought we might. There's plenty to debate here, because you obviously think it's like, judging by the way that you live your life, like it's completely morally justifiable to have animals endure a slaughterhouse so that you can eat their body. Like what I am against.
No, continue.
What I am against is, I'm just against innocent beings being enslaved and decapitated so I can eat a piece of their body. That I don't think is justified. So there's a difference between justifiable, like, killing to protect self-defense, things like this, and unjustifiable killing for a bacon sandwich, a bit of taste pleasure or whatever.
I don't make that difference at all. I can't make that distinction. And I certainly don't put animal lives and human lives on the exact same plane of importance at all. Like a lot of, do you think that pigs and cows are as important as people? Do you feel their lives are worth as much as a person's life?
Well, what we could do is we could do a little, we could play it's like a logical consistency test, and it's for this exact topic what you're bringing up right now.
Is it a word trap? I'm ready if it is, but go ahead.
It's not a word trap. It's just basically we share a common, like, morally relevant trait with animals, and it's our conscious experience. Now, you could say that we have more intelligence in animals, of course. Especially, we could use a pig, for example. Pigs are more intelligent than dogs. Okay, we know that scientifically, or they're at least comparable, and in some studies do better. In some studies, dogs do better, but they're about on par or better in certain studies.
Pigs taste better.
Let's say we have is there something about animals, right? When you look at, say, a pig, is there something about that pig that, obviously, I don't think you would agree with putting human beings in gas chambers to eat them for bacon.
Obviously, this was written a very long time ago. If someone in the chat wants to correct me or look this up, I believe it says if it has a hoof that's split in half and chews of the cud, you can eat it, which does not refer to camels, but it refers to basically every other livestock animal that we have today.
Yeah, but
I've read the Bible. I've read the Bible many times.
Yeah, and these animals are selectively bred by humans, and they're kept in factory farms and put under immense, like, okay, look, if you're saying it because we are created in God's image,
yes,
that's
we are,
and we can't actually prove that, like, can we? Like, we have to believe, that's a faith. We have to have faith in that. Yeah, you have to have faith. It's like a belief that you have that no one can actually verify or disprove, is what I'm like. Yeah, I can't really say, oh no, we weren't. Like, no, you just say, well, yes, we were.
Yeah, but you can't.
You could never get to a point.
we could go on indefinitely with this, because you could say something to me like, oh, we shouldn't kill and eat pigs because it's cruel. And I could say, yes, we should. And no, it's not cruel. But I don't try to redact the arguments down to such a basic level. I like to try to give a little bit of nuance and try to inject my knowledge into the situation a little bit more. But no, I don't think any argument can be made that animal lives are as important as human lives. And if you really, truly believe that, if you really, truly in your heart believe that an animal life is as important as a human life, then I believe that there is something, and I don't mean this in an offensive way. Let's talk about someone else. Let's talk about a third party. This guy believes that animal lives and human lives, because it's sentient, are all exactly of equal value. Then that person is less intelligent than a piranha or a shark. Because piranhas don't think that piranha lives are less important than the other animals' lives. And the preservation of your own species is something innate in all of us, in almost every creature that lives. So if you want to say that you're less intelligent than a piranha, and you believe that a pig's life or a chicken's life or a cow's life or a lamb's life is exactly as important as yours or mine or my kids or your kids, I don't believe that you really think that.
Well, it depends on who the person is, really. Because if you're talking about a piece of shit, then I don't see them as any more worthy than a fly.
Yeah,
but
of course.
If you're talking about a pretty good person, they try their best.
In general,
they try their best.
A child,
they're like me. Like if you met me 10 years ago, you probably thought, bloody, he's a lost hope. But I turned my life around now. I try to do good in the world, and I try to leave a positive mark on the world.
And I have to say, your story. Sorry to digress a little bit. I didn't know anything about you. Your story is actually pretty cool. So, because just because you're a vegan and I disagree with you and I don't give a shit about animals doesn't mean that I can't tell the 27, 28, I haven't refreshed it, 30 something thousand people watching on my audience that your story of being a gangbanger and a piece of shit and a criminal and turning it all around isn't inspirational. That's an impressive feat of human ingenuity. And to take that argument to say, oh, Tristan's the kind of guy who loves factory farms and thinks they're beautiful is actually not what I said. One, because you seem surprised. I don't get it. Some people do.
I don't think you're stupid. I think you're very bright, and I think you've been well educated, and you speak very coherently, and you've a higher intelligence than a lot of people that I've speak to.
Every cow.
What I do come across though is people who think they know about what goes on, but have just seen a few videos here and there, and like I don't. But maybe. Maybe just being there and that visceral stench and the hearing the murmuring of the animals and seeing them dying on their faces might pull you off of the position that this is just a wonderful invention where I get to have 0%. Meat wherever I want in the country.
0% in the world and 0%. No, I understand the realities of where my food comes from. And I think a lot of people do. That's my point about I think a lot of people do. I think that a lot of people watching right now are going to learn a thing or two. And I don't think anyone who listens to me and follows me is going to think, oh, I better convert to veganism. I believe that you can be a vegan if you like. I don't mind if you're a vegan, but you mind if I eat meat.
Exactly. And I'll tell you why. It's not because I'm trying to control people or whatever. People think that I want to control. Oh, why do you care what I eat? I see this a lot. Vegans are trying to control what I eat. They're weirdos. Like people think veganism is some diet. Like it's just a diet, like I choose to be carnivore. You can be whole foods. You can have a raw diet, and I choose to be a vegan like it's a diet choice. It's actually, we care what people consume, because on the other end of that, animals are being raised, mutilated, this is factory farming, suffering, and then they are murdered in like a gas chamber or a slaughterhouse filled with blood in order to meet that demand. So people are collectively making up that demand. And so we are trying to stop people from making up that demand. So the animals can stop being bred into infinite torture and then murder. Well, so, I was just hoping that there's some people that listen to you that you might be able to sort of bring them off of this, at least this anti-vegan stereotype kind of thing where people are, oh, if you're a vegan, you're a bitch, or if you're a vegan, you're part of the matrix, or you've fallen for some propaganda, or you're like, how people bring all that shit. It just fundamentally could mean that people just care about the experience of animals that people just don't generally care about. So, I mean,
it's the exact same point I made about Japanese history earlier. Like people have different passions and people have different things that they fight for. I know you think this is super important and the whole world needs to care. Some people don't care. Some people don't care about the things that I say or the things that I do. And that's the way it is. But no, I think that most people I know who I would describe as bitches, to use your word, this guy's a bitch, because 99% of people eat meat, especially where I live. Then 99% of the people I meet are bitches. So I wouldn't say it's mutually exclusive. No, Read, be smart, be a man. Don't be afraid of standing up for your values. Train yourself, become physically strong, protect and provide for the people who you care about, I think that's what makes you a man. And if you want to be a vegan, I truly don't care, which is why I started this off with, this isn't a debate, because I have no real disagreement on what you're doing.
It's been a discussion, though, and I think it's been like more than what you thought it might be. I thought you were just going to come in and say you don't care. So it's all fine, I don't care, and then like it wouldn't be. But we have actually got into a more of a discussion than maybe you expected, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, my position is that I don't care, and I think I've maintained that quite well. But yeah, I think that we both know a lot about this topic, which is why I thought I'd sit and talk to you, because I imagine that, especially the people watching on YouTube, I can imagine what your comment section is like. This guy's a meathead, this guy's stupid, this guy is X, Y, and Z, and they thought I'd sit here and be like, what? Animals are treated badly to make my food. Like, I just thought I'll just put it out there. Let's have a nice, reasonable discussion.